Welcome back, everyone, to another Councilmen podcast. This is episode 12, and today I am joined by Ariq, Andrea, my special co host for this Game of Thrones special season 8 preview. And why only the two of us? Because it's only the two of us that watch the show.
You only watch Game of Thrones.
Teguh and Kelvin does not watch the show. Kelvin insists on being part of this panel, but he only want to talk about the sex scenes. So we decided not to invite him
Not
because we want
not
to.
good,
Not today, Kelvin. Not today. So this is the Game of Thrones special. Season 8 is coming right around the corner. By the time this podcast is released, it should be out in 2 days. And so we'll be breaking down
wait,
like
wait. Is it 2 days? I thought it was like the 12th it was released.
yeah, I mean we're releasing this on the 12th. And
Oh,
then the
really?
Game of
Really?
Thrones Game of Thrones is being released in the 14th, right? Season 8
Oh, right. Yeah, yeah.
or
You're
15th.
releasing it
I
on
think
the
it's
12th.
14th.
I thought you're just
Uh-huh.
gonna release it directly right after
No.
the.
Yeah, but we're gonna be taking a preview of what's to come in the final season, the characters, what their fate are, who's gonna die, who's gonna end up on the Iron Throne, everything, all those kind of stuff. But before we get started, I just want to say, if you are not subscribe to us on iTunes, on Spotify, Podbean, all those kind of stuff. If you want to be updated to all our content, we are planning. If you like this particular Game of Thrones episode, we are planning to do another one once the season has wrapped. Once the show has finished, we're planning to do another one to recap and just our thoughts on the whole thing. So if you want to get notified and know when that thing is going to drop, just subscribe to our podcast feed so you know when it's going to be there. So let's just get started in this deep dive, Ariq.
All right.
Well, before we go into all those jazz of who will die, who's going to end up on the throne, let me ask you, how did you first get into Game of Thrones?
You see, this is actually true. I think back when season what 7 or 6 was no not 6, 7 was new, right?
Mm-hmm.
I saw one of the I guess trailers or you can say like the advertisements on HBO,
Yeah.
and I was like, and I think there was like a shot of Drogon, and I was like, holy fuck, that looks so fucking badass. That looks so cool. And I'm like, I want to watch the show because there's dragons. It's contrary to popular belief. People think that I watch it because of the sex scenes. I'm like, no. Why would I watch for the sex scenes? There's like porn sites on
There's websites for that.
there's like porn sites for that. Like, no, there's no sites for dragons. That's why I want to see it. So I'm like, that is so fucking cool. I want to see those dragons, but I'm like, I can't just start at season 6. I won't understand anything. So I have to start all the way from season 1. And I binge watch in like few weeks. No, not few weeks, like 2 weeks. Reach season
wait,
6. I'm like, oh, dragons.
wait. You binge watched season 1 to season 6 in 2 weeks?
Yeah, around 2 weeks.
Wow.
That's why my brother was like, "Don't you think you're watching a bit too fast? Like season 8 is not gonna be released till like 2019." And I'm like, yeah, that's a good point. I have to literally wait 1 year for season 8. I completely forgot. And so
So
yeah, that's why I literally watch. So yeah, that's how I ended up watching
did
Drogon.
you watch at the same time your brother was watching, or your brother already watch it and you jump
No,
in?
no, yeah, my brother has watched since season 1 was released, and he's been like
Ah, okay.
subscribed ever since the beginning for him.
Yeah. Well, so you've seen it since when was season 6 released? Was that 2 years ago?
Not
I,
season
I,
seven. Season
season
seven
seven
was
was so that's last year, isn't it?
yeah. Isn't it 2 years ago? Wasn't
I have no clue. I have no clue. I mean, the reason why I have
yeah,
no clue.
no,
Well, you search it up.
um,
The reason why I
Game
have
of
no clue is
Thrones.
because I just started watching Game of Thrones this January. I binge watch. I
Yeah,
guess you can call
yeah.
it binge.
I saw July 16th, 2017. Yeah, it was
two
around that
years ago.
time. Yeah,
Wow.
2 years ago.
Wow. So yeah. So you've been waiting for 2 years until season eight's gonna drop.
I've been waiting. I've been waiting because I just binge watched the whole thing in like 2 weeks, and I'm like, yeah, I knew I would forget everything by now.
You told me. you told me you were planning to watch like the recap kind of thing. Did you end up getting a
I
chance to do
was.
that or no?
No, I didn't.
Too
I
busy.
was hoping that if, for example, say you want to discuss like season five, I'd just ask you like, hey, what happened in season
I mean,
five?
I'm still sort of fresh on it.
Yeah,
So
that's why exactly. Exactly. That's why I'm asking you.
although in my defense, some of the seasons it feels mashed together. So if you ask what happened in season five, I cannot exactly say, but I know what events has happened, but I cannot explicitly say which season that was, if that makes any sense.
Right, right, right. I mean,
And yeah,
you get like the whole idea thing, not like
oh
maybe
yeah.
specific. Like I can't say like, hey, what happened at season five, episode five.
Yep. Although season six, episode eight, I remember very well. Episode eight, nine, episode 10, I remember very well. Those three are one of the best episodes ever. Battle of the Bastards and then the Winds of Winter. Oh.
Yeah, yeah. Definitely.
And and yeah, as I said earlier, I just started watching it this January. I initially, I think, I think last year I planned to watch it, but I never did. And then I don't know what makes me decided that I feel like I have to watch it. And I just like at first I want to watch it. Okay, at first I decided to watch it not because I'm interested, but more like I want to know what's going on so I can be on the hype when season 8 comes.
Right.
Like I didn't have that much interest because like even though it's this is like a fantasy kind of thing, right? And even though I like Harry Potter, Middle Earth stuff wasn't that much of my favorite, even though I like them. So I didn't expect to like Game of Thrones as much. Plus, I heard there's like political stuff in it, so I was like, probably not that interesting. And then like first few episodes, I'm like, okay, there's so many characters, who's who, so many houses. I was like confused, and then eventually going to season two, season three, I'm like, damn, this show is getting better and better and better, and they somehow just stopped themselves even more, and now I'm just obsessed with the show, and I cannot wait for one more week until season 8 drops.
You got God fever.
Yeah, and also like I didn't thought one of the things that I never started earlier because if a show has gone too long, sometimes you feel lazy to start watching it because you have to watch so much, right? But then like hearing from you, you finish it in a few weeks, and another friend of mine finished the whole show in like 5 days, I think. So I'm like, you know what? I guess it's possible. Took me 4 months, but at least I did it.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, that is how we both get into Game of Thrones. And my next question for you, Ariq, is out of the remaining, well, I guess I should have said it out ahead of time, but I guess if you guys are listening to this, you guys know this is going to be spoiler filled. So we're gonna tell you who's gonna die, who's not, is still alive. So Kelvin, I mean Ariq, who are your
Go with
top
it.
three? Who are your top three favorite characters who is still alive right now?
It's just it's like quite difficult. I'm not sure. I guess I mean to be honest, I'll still it may seem very obvious, but I'm gonna put John as number one. I
Number
mean, come on,
one,
he's been like he's been like he gets more and more badass like every season,
and
and I
he becomes
just
a better person too.
he becomes better. Yeah, he becomes like a leader. Before he was just a bastard. Now he's actually the lord of. Now he's actually the lord of Winterfell. Like
Yep.
so basically, like you see him like as the most developed. Like he develops further than everyone else. I guess you can say that. That's why I like him. And of course,
Mm-hmm.
he's badass. I mean, don't you remember the time where he beat the shit out of out of Ramsey in Battle of
Oh,
Bastards?
yeah.
That is
Just
what
like smack.
that is the definition of satisfaction. That is
Satisfaction is seeing Ramsey getting eaten by his own dog. That
yeah,
is
yeah,
satisfaction.
that's also satisfaction. You can eat it by his own dogs.
Uh,
Right. So let's see next. I wouldn't really put Daenerys in there because to be honest, I actually hate her most of the time until the last.
really? Okay.
She's kind of a bitch sometimes.
I never hated Daenerys, and I even though I find her like awesome, I never like really love her character. I don't know. There's like it's just that like middle ground kind of thing, which I like. I like her character, but I never like
Well,
love her
well,
character. You know.
at this point she's kind of middle ground for me because at first I kind of hate, not at first, more like in the middle I kind of hate her. Now I kind of like her, so it
Mm-hmm.
balanced.
Yeah.
You know
Okay.
what, Thanos? You know Thanos. Anyway,
Snap.
anyway, I think next I guess I would say
The
Arya.
Night, the Night King. Oh, Arya.
No, Arya, because like since the beginning she's always been like kind of, kind of cheeky and all that, like the type of character,
Mm-hmm.
right? Pretty much everyone likes her for that. But then again, the reason why I start liking her more is that yeah, she's a bit more, like violent now,
Oh,
which
she
I get.
is.
Like when you mentioned to me before one time, you said like, oh, Arya is like becoming more like this. You're kind of like worried about her fate.
She's going a dark path.
She's going a dark path, but I think it's a proper dark path because obviously you know what happened in the Red Wedding. Everybody remembers that. Everybody knows it. And they
Yep.
pretty much, it's a hard to watch episode. 'Cause everyone's dead. But she was able to avenge the Red Wedding. That was like, that's just as satisfying as killing Ramsay
Yeah.
Bolton.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, that's why like basically like just like John, she became, more badass over time, more
Mm-hmm.
developed. And of course she did that satisfying thing of killing, what's his name? I
Walder
forgot his
Frey.
name.
Walder Frey,
Yeah, Frey, yeah, Walder Frey.
the Lord of Riverlands, right?
Yeah, Lord of the Riverlands.
Yep. So your three was Arya, John, and
I haven't
uh,
wait, I haven't
oh,
said
you
the
haven't
third
you
one.
haven't said third one. Okay, there was like I
I
thought you
just
said
mentioned
three.
Daenerys. I didn't
Okay,
add
okay,
her.
right. I want to see if you have the same as mine.
Shit.
Cause, cause, okay,
Go,
cause
go.
so far, Arya and John is my top two favorite as well. Okay, not in the particular order, but they're in my top three as well. John is just as a character. Should we just call him Aegon? Aegon. uh,
Aegon, his name, yeah, we can. Aegon
but
Targaryen.
John slash Aegon Targaryen, he just grow as a character, and then now he's such a respectable character, especially because he got like that. He he is not he doesn't want to be Lord of Winterfell, but he becomes Lord of Winterfell because that is the best
He
thing
has to.
to do.
He,
Yeah, for him
yeah.
that is the right thing to do. So that's like a very honorable thing. And especially that shot in the Battle of the Bastards when he's just taking off his sword and the whole army
Oh
of
yeah.
the Bolton. That first is a cool shot. Second, that is like John being like, okay, whatever, I'm just gonna die right here. I don't give a damn, but I'm gonna die for my people. That is such a great moment.
Yeah, he's like a very noble fighter. He's like to the end, you know.
I mean, he literally took a knife to a sword to the heart, like what do you say, Sir Davos said.
Yeah.
And then yeah, Arya also is in there because, like you said, she's very cheeky. Her character has she grows a lot, not just physically, but like character-wise also. Uh,
Physically.
and
Yeah.
she's a cool character. Although I don't know where her arc is gonna go after this, but then that's why we will discuss it right after this. But yeah, what's your third one?
I think I have to say, I mean, this one is more in par with the others, but it just stands out a bit more. I would have to say Jamie.
Okay, I like
I,
this.
I know, yeah, I know. You're like, what? A Lannister? We're supposed to hate them.
No, that's not okay.
Yeah,
Well, not true. I like it because I like Tyrion is my number three. So
oh
you have
yeah,
Jamie, I have
Tyrion.
Tyrion.
That's the thing, though. Like, actually, wait. No, for me, Tyrion and Jamie are like equal.
Yeah,
So basically, you know what? Can I just explain both of them? I mean, since
yeah,
they're
yeah.
basically friends right
and
there.
I'll
Wait.
and I'll chime
But
in as
but I'll
well.
go with JV first. I'll go with JV first. The reason why I like JV is because again, like I'm kind of into the previous ones, John and Arya. They have like character development, right? That's
Hmm.
what I mentioned before. Like that's kind
Yeah,
of the same thing. Like at first when you see Jamie, you're like, oh, he's such a cunt.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
he pushed the kid off a tower block because he was fucking with his sister.
and then Bran just lost his legs.
Yeah. So he's kind of like a cunt, but like over time, you can see that he's actually like getting more human. Like for example, at first he kind of did show like sympathy for Brienne. Like he kind of
Hmm.
like likes her in
Yeah,
that kind of way.
yeah. And
He's
that's
also
when you first start getting to like Jamie when he have that relationship with Brienne. I feel like.
yeah, yeah, and throughout the whole series, he's getting like more broken. Like think about it, like he lost all his sons, right? Sons,
Hmm.
two sons and one daughter.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
Marcella,
lost
Tommen,
Marcella,
and Joffrey.
Tommen, and Jeffrey. Yeah, he lost his children, right? Um, he used to be known as like the best swordsman in like in Westeros, basically, right? But then
Yeah.
he lost his arm. So that's
That's
the
a
thing
great
though,
moment.
sure he retrained himself, but he will never be as good as he was before, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like a shame.
Hmm.
And then on top of that, like his sister has become like really evil and just doesn't care. Well, he's like, oh, I want to protect the realm too.
Hmm.
That's why he wants. That's why, like, I think when I showed you in season 8, you saw him wearing like a what do you call it? Not a
Like
stick, like a leak, yeah, a leak.
a
You
set
saw,
photo, a leak set photo.
yeah, a leak set photo of him wearing Lannister,
Stark.
not Lannister, Stark armor that
Yeah.
looked like Robert's. I was like, not Robert's, Rob. And I was like, and that's why it's like he's becoming like a much better person throughout the season. Like at first he's a cunt, now he could potentially be a hero in the end.
Yeah.
Um, and as for Tyrion, I don't know why he hits. I don't know why, but he just has a lot of like um he has like his own charm. I think there's one season where I laughed so hard. Like one episode, like a guy was like some random dude was like, if you pet a dwarf on the head, you're gonna get good luck. And then he's like,
I think I remember that.
if you if you if you hold his cock, it will bring better luck. I think that's what he said along the lines.
Yeah, yeah. I think I know the sequence you're
Laugh,
talking about.
laugh my ass off in that. I don't know, like a lot of his charm is just like really nice. Like for example, is like I think when he first met what Daenerys, he was like
Hmm.
I am the gift. I think that's what he says.
Oh
He
yeah.
presents to himself like that. And yeah, basically like I also kind of feel bad for him because I think this is like season 3, right? For sure. When was that? Yeah, season 3 when the whole ship blew up, the fleet. Was it season 2?
Oh, when he got the scar. I think that's two.
Yeah, yeah. I think
I
it's
think
two
that's two.
season 2 episode 9, is it? Is it?
I think I think I think it's season two. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cause yeah, I think that's season two. Because season three is when the Red Wedding all goes down. I don't recall that being in the same season. Might be wrong though. Might be early. Might be like. Could it be early season three? Are you checking it?
Yeah, yeah. Blackwater, yeah. It's
But
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, okay. And anyway, like the point is like he was basically like hand of the king, and he
Hmm.
was like basically he had this time ruling King's Landing, and basically he was able to actually beat the Baratheons in the battle,
Yep.
right? But then he was kind of like betrayed, not betrayed. He was like I think the right term is fucked over. Because basically when he woke up, they're just like, oh yeah, you're just a servant now. Yeah, yeah. You won. Yeah, you
Mm.
won.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You won.
He was no longer hand of the king.
Yeah, yeah. And he was like, yeah, yeah,
Cause
yeah.
cause because
Tyrion and
of what's his name?
Tywin,
Tywin.
Tywin won.
Tywin. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's just like, yeah, yeah. You won a battle. So what? So what? They just like left him there. So like I kind of feel bad for him. And as a result, he's always wanted to be like hand of the king again, or at least in this case, he became hand of the queen, right?
Right. Yeah.
So
To
yeah,
Danny.
so
That's
yeah,
such a cool. That's such a cool moment too. When Varys is like, "I'm gonna bring you to Danny," I'm like, "Oh shit, they're gonna team up." I never thought that would happen. That's so cool.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's why I, like like I think he finally deserved what he got. He became hand of the queen in the end.
Yeah, that is the reason why I like Tyrion and why he's in my top three because Tyrion is like he is probably the most he did say he's the most famous dwarf in Westeros, but I feel like that's the reason of because of that is because he's one of the most hated person in Westeros because people see him like a because they say like the dwarves are monster in Westeros and he's like a midget.
Yeah, yeah,
So people like what's the word like not black sheep, but like he like push him
Yeah,
away basically. They,
they
they
shunned
don't they
him. Yeah,
don't
they shunned him.
especially like Taiwan also he doesn't really accept him as a his own son because he killed his mom at birth, right? So he like
Mm.
even Cersei doesn't like the only one that like Tyrion out of the Lannisters are like
It's
Jamie.
Jamie. It's Jamie. That's why I say that's something like.
So
So I
even
like
even
the
his
whole.
own family, yeah, his own family doesn't like Tyrion. So like he got all the bad luck in the world. No one's accept him, but he's like such he just want to do what he think is right, and he eventually, at least right now, he's sort of in a spot which feels like the most deserving he is in his whole
Yeah,
life.
yeah. That's why. Yeah, that's why I like him. Like like he deserves to be. He deserves to to get what he wants, and of
Mhm.
course he's just damn funny. By far the funniest
he's
out of
he's
everyone.
funny, dude. That I like the line that when okay, I like the sequence when he's trying to teach Miss Sunday and Grey Worm how to make a joke.
Mhm.
That sequence is great. It's like there's a quote that he does. Is like, I drink. What? So what do you exactly do? I drink and I know things.
I drink it.
But yeah,
I drink it. I don't.
I said before that the moment when Tyrion first is supposed to team up with Dany, that is like such a wow moment because throughout the whole show, especially since season one, I feel like everything is like so isolated. Dany's doing her own thing in that outside of Westeros, and then the Lannisters have their own arc, and then the Starks have their own arc, and it's like all this jumbled up mess from all over the place that somehow works in terms of story, and you understand what's going on. And when everything comes together, like when Tyrion meets with Dany, is such a huge moment. Like when Sansa finally meets back with Jon and meets back with Arya, that's finally like such a huge moment. And especially that last episode, I think, when in season seven, when they all meet in the Dragon Pit
Mm.
with Dany and Jon and the Lannisters, that's like such a huge moment because it feels like a payoff. Like all this season building up, they never really met each other, and but the storyline's been interwoven, and now they meet up, and it's like, bam,
Yeah. It's when all the story just kind of converges when all the arcs, just ended up there.
Yeah, which is why I feel like I'm gonna stay to like MCU storytelling wise, like multiple characters and everything, and just in Endgame, it's like boom, all together. And I feel like Game of Thrones is like, in terms of world building, I think Game of Thrones and MCU is like the best, and that's what they're doing right now.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, do you have a favorite episode or favorite season?
I think that's gonna up. Season, I'm not too
Battle
sure.
of
The Dragon
Battle
King
of
episode.
Bastards,
But that episode is too obvious, isn't it?
Battle of the Bastards.
Battle of the Bastards, definitely. I mean, obviously, I went to Game of Thrones and I wanted to watch the dragons, the cool battles, and
Uh huh.
basically that's what the Battle of Bastards is. It's the cool
Yeah.
battle, right?
Yep.
And
That battle is so realistic and insane in terms of like how random it is, and I feel like
yeah, yeah.
it's not depicted before in
There's
any.
something like interesting about this. Do you know the part? Do you know the part where like John was like, it looks like he's drowning in a
Yeah, yeah,
body
yeah,
of
yeah.
like man.
I never thought of that.
If I'm
That's
not mistaken,
crazy.
he has an actual phobia of like in big crowds.
The actor or
So
John?
no, the actor Kit Harington is has like he has a phobia of like being in like massive crowds, which
Hmm.
as a result, when John was like trying to crawl out, I think it was like an actual fear of Kit Harington. Like it's not even acting
Yeah,
at that
yeah.
point.
He does look like he's suffocating.
But it's supposed to depict like how scary the battles are and all that, how bloody it is.
Hmm.
So that's what like they were able to capture like these cinematic moments, but at the same time, it's also a cool battle that you can enjoy. Like yeah, like you said, mentioned about like the shot when he stood with his sword and like the whole Bolton army was charging at him and all that. Like there's like cool cinematics. The battle itself was quite cool, and even though they look like they're about to lose, and then like what is it?
The veil.
Knights of the Veil, like they came in at the last second,
Yeah.
clutch, and I was like, oh shit, this is just getting more and more badass. And then they finally ended with Ramsay Bolton getting his ass beat to shit.
Yep.
Just very satisfying. So yeah, definitely that's why it's like the best. And I think throughout the whole episode it was just a battle. Like
It
the
was
whole
a
episode.
long battle. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the whole episode was a battle. There's no like preparations or anything. No,
I
there's
don't
we
I
go
don't
to the
recall I don't think we go to any arc relating to Dany or Lannisters. I might be wrong, but
yeah,
I
yeah,
feel like
yeah.
it
No, no,
focused
no.
on the Ramsay and it focused on the Boltons and the Starks.
It was heavily focused on taking over Winterfell. That's it.
Hmm.
There's no
It's
there's no other arcs. It was just that.
it
It's
started off
focused.
yeah, it started off with Rickon running in a straight line and eventually getting killed. I mean, why do you run in a straight line, man?
Hey,
Zigzag
hey,
for good.
everyone likes
Okay,
to complain about that.
okay.
Yeah,
And
but why did he
does
not do
anyone
that?
actually like? I feel like Rickon is the least like Stark. Does anyone actually like Rickon? Because I feel like he does nothing in the show.
I'll be honest. I mean, there isn't any reason to like him simply because he didn't appear that much.
Is he the youngest? Is he younger than Bran? He is, right?
He's the youngest. Rickon is the youngest of all
Yeah,
of them.
poor kid. Poor kid.
Like at least Bran, he was, I mean,
Yeah.
he's crippled, but he's throughout the story.
Yeah, my Battle of the Bastards is up there for me. I think that might be my number one as well. But my second close one, uh, I okay. In terms of rewatchability, I might watch Battle of the Bastards in terms way more. But in terms of a episode that leave an impact on me, is the Reigns of Castamere.
Oh, is it
And
the?
you might talk about the Red Wedding scene, which is huge. That's a crazy moment. You never see that coming, and especially how they got killed. It's like so. Ugh. It's like so merciless, especially when they stab the womb, and then like how Caitlyn died, and how Rob
Yeah,
is just soulless. But outside of that too, the because that episode is the episode where John got exposed and left the Wildlings crew. That's when he left Ygritte, and
yeah,
that moment when he was like he's just talking to Ygritte and Ygritte have an arrow at him. That is such a impactful and powerful moment as well because I really like Ygritte as a character, and I really like Ygritte's connection with John, especially. So seeing them like have to part ways and knowing that they have to fight eventually, which eventually she died in the hands of John, right, in that battle for the wall.
yeah,
It was like such it hurts to watch. That whole episode hurts to watch, but it's such well done in a way. Like even now, people might like Danny with John. I'm okay Danny being with John, but I still prefer John being with Ygritte more.
yeah, yeah. I mean, they ended up in real life together.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But yeah, I'm opening Variety.com right now, and their number one best episode is Hard Home, and that's the episode where the Night's Watch have to recruit the wildlings, and then the whole Night King came with his army. Remember that
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
when they have
Oh,
to
yeah,
escape
yeah.
with
I
the boat?
remember.
That's a pretty good episode. That's their
I
number
forgot.
one.
So many wildlings died in that one.
Oh yeah, so many. Reigns of Castamere is number four. Blackwater is number three for them. The Spoils of War. That's season seven, episode four. That's the episode that you told me.
Oh,
Have Drogon appear in his full glory yet?
it's like it's like kind of funny. It's like just imagine being a Lannister soldier there. You see a
And
horde
like
of Dothraki coming over the hill, and
we're fucked, bro.
we're like we're like okay, what else could go
We
worse?
can handle Dothraki, right? And then dragons.
And then you hear a roar, and he just submitted a big ass dragon just come down.
Uh,
I probably shit my pants at that point if I was a Lannister soldier.
okay, okay. Wait. Before we go on, there
Yeah.
is something in season seven that you told me in our text message, and you never explained to me. And I was planning to do it off the camera, but now since we're in the topic of it, I'm gonna ask you right now. You mentioned something about Podrick's magic cock. What was that about?
I know.
Because Bran only mentioned it once, but I have no idea why you talk about that.
Wasn't there a part? I don't know which episode. Maybe some viewers can help. It's where Podrick was like he was given a reward by Tyrion and what's his name? What's the other guy's name again?
Bran?
Uh, Brown. I forgot his name. Yeah, because they were like trying to give him a treat. Like they give him like some loan, like a small like allowance basically
Hmm.
for to get some prostitutes, right? And then
Oh,
after a
oh, okay,
while,
okay, yeah,
he
yeah, yeah.
came
I know.
he came back. He came
And they
back
got the
and
money
he
back.
put the money. He put the money back and we're like, what? And they were like, huh? They're like, they didn't want the money. What do you mean they didn't want the money? They enjoyed it. They enjoyed it, and then they're just like, and they don't want the money, and then they're like, how did you do that?
Right. Okay. Okay.
they,
Okay.
they were all shocked. Like even in the later episodes, I think,
They make fun of
like
it.
you see like Podrick just walk by, and then and then some of the girls, I guess, like these are the worst. They started giggling, and I'm like, damn, this guy has this guy's a magic. It's magic. That's
Yeah.
why I was considering on putting Podrick as a top.
Uh,
He's a magic dog.
talking about Podrick, there is a character that I want to say before we go on. There's a character that I want to say is an honorable mention for my favorite character, and that's Brienne of Tarth. I like I
Oh,
like her so
Brienne.
much. She's such an honorable character as well.
I think
The
I think it's
kid.
almost safe to say she's pretty much one of the best fighters in all of Westeros. I mean,
Yeah, I don't know
she was the only one who beat the what's his name?
the mountain,
The Hound,
the hound,
not the
the
Hound.
hound. Not yet, not yet. He's gonna beat the hound maybe. I don't know.
Mm.
The mountain. I mean, yeah. Yeah, Star Wars somehow screwed that up. I don't understand how Captain Phasma is an awesome and Brienne of Tarth so awesome in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, yeah, that's why I thought like Phasma would be like just as cool as Brienne and
Yeah,
like evil, but
I,
oh
I feel
well.
like there is no action scenes in there yet. But yeah, not you're not gonna talk about Star Wars right now.
That's true.
Before we go to the topic, our main topic, which is who's gonna end up on the throne.
Mhm.
Another episode. I'm just gonna run through the varieties top 10 episodes. Number 6 is the door. That's the episode with Hodor's backstory, which was kind of sad. And then number 7 is the Winds of Winter, the season finale for season 6, which was a very it has one of the best endings. That's the reveal that John not well the reveal that John is not actually Ned's bastard, and also the showcase of Daenerys' whole fleet with that awesome music.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That is such a cool moment, and then only to realize that her whole fleet get destroyed like 2 episodes into season 7.
Not the whole thing. It's just some.
Well, yeah, which was crazy. Number 8 is Baylor. That's the episode where Ned Stark died. Number 9 is the Mountain and the Viper, which is also a crazy episode.
I mean, that
Prince
is the
of
coolest like fight scenes. Like what was his name again? The Viper of Dorne, the Red Viper. What's his title?
Prince Oberyn Martell,
Oberyn. He's
Oberyn
by far the
Martell.
cool. I think to be honest, he's by far like I mean, if he wasn't dead, he would have been like the best fighter in Westeros. I mean, you saw how he fights. It's so
Yeah,
badass.
it's
He was
arguable
he
that he can be one of the
like
best fighters.
the Mountain has defeated so many people. He could have defeated the Mountain if he didn't talk shit, but all he does is talk shit.
Yeah.
That's why he's so cool. Too bad
hmm
he died.
And then number 10 is season 1, episode 1. Winter is coming.
He's in one episode.
And looking at a picture of season 1, episode 1, everyone looks so young. It feels so weird.
Yeah, yeah, like Arya was still short.
Especially Arya and Bran. They changed the most probably.
Brad changed the most in my opinion, but he
Yeah.
just looks weird, right?
Especially because he's not in season 5, and then he's like season 4, and then he appears in season 6. We didn't see him in season 5, and he just automatically like changed a lot. I'm like, whoa.
What happened to you?
Okay, so let's get down to the main question that people's been asking for I don't know since how long the show has go on. But finally we're gonna find out. At least I hope we're gonna find out who's gonna be on the Iron Throne unless something else happens. But Ariq, who do you think will be in the Iron Throne at the end of the show?
Yes. Uh, Tony Stark. Oh.
Wrong Stark. Wrong Stark.
Wrong
Wrong
Stark.
universe.
I don't know. I cannot. You said like who will end up, right? Like a speculation. The thing is, what I want, what I want is Danny to
Okay.
be in the Iron Throne,
All
but
right.
it's
We can
gonna.
separate those two.
I mean, who's gonna likely happen?
Thinking, trying to think as a writer of the show.
It's possible that it could have a bad ending and that the what is it, the Night King will end up ruling over
That's
Westeros.
crazy, though. I don't see that happening at all. Do you think that's possible?
Yeah, it's possible if I'll be very disappointed if it's Cersei because she didn't want to do fuck all. She just wants
I
to
don't.
stand there and like, yeah,
Yeah,
let the Starks deal with it.
I don't think Cersei is gonna end up. Okay, I don't think Cersei is gonna survive the season.
I hope so.
So yeah, I don't think Cersei is gonna be on the throne. So you want Dany, but you think she's
Yeah,
not gonna be. You don't think she's gonna be on the throne.
no, I mean, I'm saying like, I think there's a chance, she has the biggest chance to end up being the throne in my opinion.
Hmm.
And that is, and yes, that's also what I want. I want her to be to be on the throne. So basically the answer is like Danny, but
Okay.
a lot of people would probably want John.
Yeah. Okay. I'm so conflicted if I will to in terms of Dany or Jon.
Mhm.
I feel like who's more deserving with not just in terms of lineage, but like their arc. I feel like Jon deserves more,
Mm.
especially like the show like to reward sort of like if a character like not suffer but like take the hit or like let's just say take the hit. The show like to reward them. So I feel like Jon might deserve more than Dany, but this might be weird. Uh, okay, who I wanna see, maybe Jon, maybe. But who I think deserves the most, Tyrion Lannister.
Mm.
Same argument like why I say I like him because he suffers the most,
Okay.
yet he still endure all of this and he's still trying to do something for good. Because like look at Cersei, she suffers a lot. She lost her child, but look at what she's been doing. Tyrion, on the other hand, she suffers a lot. He suffers a lot, and he does have done some things like killing his dad and stuff like that. But he's still doing it for the right cause. So
Right.
I don't know. I feel like Tyrion deserves it. I don't know if you agree or not.
It's actually a surprising answer because I don't think anyone ever thought of that. I mean, people always see him as like the hand of the
Because
king. I mean,
also because the crazy well I don't okay maybe he deserves it, but the reason why I don't think that's gonna happen because once again the people of Westeros hate him for especially because he's a dwarf, and
mm,
seeing a dwarf being the king of Westeros that's probably the people are not gonna be happy about.
true. Yeah, that's what, that's why. Like, yeah, the reason why I think he's not gonna be in the throne is not because like I don't want him. It's because like other reasons such as that. And I think I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure he'll make a much better like
hand.
right hand better. He will make a better right hand than an actual king, in my
That's
opinion.
true.
I mean,
That's true.
being the right point is like he might end up being the right hand of Daenerys or the right hand of Jon.
Yeah.
But hopefully that will happen and not the White King will kill everyone.
Okay. Yeah. Do you actually think okay, give me a percentage of like how many percent do you think the Night King will actually become the ruler of Westeros? I'm gonna say below 50%, honestly.
I'm gonna say
I'm gonna
most
say
definitely 50.
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna say
say
exactly
30%. You say
I want
50.
to say I was saying 50. I mean, wasn't there like a was it a leaked like poster that you see like the Iron Throne, but you see like but it's made out of like dead characters.
I
I
don't
don't
think
know.
that's a leak poster. I think that's an official poster,
It's an
but
official poster.
they just like I don't think that's like literal that all of them are gonna die. If it is, that's gonna be insane that they've been
I mean,
showing
it's true. I
this
mean,
whole
like
time.
I think the poster was for like season what 6 or 5
Oh, is it?
episodes.
Are we talking about the same poster? I have no
No, 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 no,
clue.
no, 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 no. I'm talking about a different season.
Okay.
You see like every. I think one of the point is the poster is like everyone's head on like a different
Oh yeah, yeah, the hall, the
It's like
halls.
they're not actually decapitated or dead. It's
Yeah,
just
the faceless
to
handholds.
depict it. Yeah, it's just to depict the faceless ones or whatever.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, that's the official poster. Who's there? Who's
It's
dead?
it's it's everyone. It's everyone.
What's everyone there?
Yeah, I say you say 50, I say under 30%. Because despite how crazy Game of Thrones is, I don't see as soon as I say this happens in the show. But I don't see the bad guy prevailing, honestly, because the fans will the fans how do you think the fans will react if the Night King ends up prevailing? I don't think anyone's rooting for the Night King.
Nobody's rooting for the Night King.
It's the living
But
and the dead, Ariq.
I mean, but you never know, man. Dude, Ramsey's words are still stuck in my head. If you
That's
think
true.
this is
And also, I heard it somewhere that they say that if you think Ramsay is a bad villain, the Night King is going to be the worst one yet. So I don't know what kind of stuff they're going to showcase in under a season, especially only 6 episodes that will showcase how crazy the Night King's gonna be.
I thought the runtimes have already been leaked. A lot of them are over an hour.
Yeah, over an hour. I think even though it's only 6 episodes, if I'm not wrong, it's only 2 minutes shorter than season 7, which have 8 episodes, I believe, or 7 episodes.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but yeah, Game of Thrones, man. I do you think season 8 will mostly be war stuff?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I think a quote from Peter Dinklage. He said that the Battle of like season 8 is gonna make the Battle of Bastards look like an amusement park. That kind of says a lot, don't you think?
Yeah,
Like the Battle of Bastards was already brutal and epic as it already was, and this is gonna make
man.
that look like a very small, like
Yeah, I
very insignificant battle.
yeah, I mean, I that makes so much sense though because like Battle of the Bastards, what you got 100,000 army of troops. This one you have like millions of the undead, and you have the whole civilization of Westeros if they all unite against the undead. And not to mention, we have 3 dragons. 2 versus 1 is going to be fighting against each
Yeah,
other.
two versus one dragon. I think it's gonna come down to a very epic. Oh my god, no! What if all the dragons died? I hope
Oh
this.
no!
I don't want any of the dragons to
Did
die
you, did you
now.
did you did you did you realize that the dragon that got turned to the Dark One is Viserion, which is named after Viserys, which is the
Serious, he's the
the
one.
sort of like the cruel brother of the Targaryen.
Yeah, yeah, and he's the one who died also.
Yeah, so it's sort of ironic that that one is the one that's turned into the evil dragon. Also, I'm just gonna say this. I saw a YouTube comment of the because I saw the trailer a few days ago. I saw a YouTube comment like, well, the Night King never speaks, so maybe they will not win because the Night King cannot say the Karis to the dragon.
It doesn't need to. You saw
Yeah,
Viserys
we
breaking
saw
the
that
wall.
in the wall. Yeah.
You saw him bring down the entire wall. I was like, damn, powerful.
At first I thought there was ice, but I guess it's blue flame.
It's like blue fire. Damn.
Okay, so let's run down. I have a list of characters I might be missing. Let's run down the characters and what do you think? Um, do you think they have a chance on being the ruler of the Iron Throne? Okay, even if I'm just gonna say everyone, even if you think it's absurd, I'm just gonna say it. So Cersei Lannister.
No.
No, I don't think so.
Is
I don't
that,
think so as well.
is that a matter of I don't want, or is that a matter of will she be enough? I'm not so sure.
I don't think
Maybe.
so.
Yeah, that might be one.
Give me a percentage. Oh,
Of
okay, I
like,
want to give you a percentage for every one of them. For like how many percent you think they will become the ruler of Westeros? Cersei.
so Cersei, I get that. I kind of give that like a 20 or 25% because she's still a queen. She's technically ruling it right now.
Yeah,
Technically,
she's not gonna last though. I'm with you.
she's not gonna last.
I'm gonna say 20 to 30, something like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, Jamie Lannister.
Chance of him ruling, I'd give him like a solid 25%. I don't think he's gonna be a king, but I think he's gonna live.
Yeah, I put it lower. I don't think he's gonna be king. He might be still if he's alive, he might still be involved with the kingdom. But I think it's like
Wait,
his
wait, wait. I mean, he could still be like he's not king of Westeros. Like, he could still be like the Lord of Casterly. I mean, there's no one else to do it.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, there's no more Lannister. He could be that. But like King of Westeros, I put it like a 10%.
Yeah, Westeros, no, but Casterly Rock most definitely.
Mhm. Tyrion Lannister.
What to be king, right?
Yeah,
I put him at like 30%. I mean, it's most likely he's gonna be hand of the king, not
yeah.
an actual king. You put
I
it on high, I'm pretty sure.
I'll put it on 50% Tyrion. I want to see if that happens. I want to see what the reaction of the people will be. That's gonna be nuts.
I mean, yeah, I mean to be honest, for me, in my opinion, I actually think he's quite a good, possibility that he will be. Like,
Yeah,
he'll make a good king in my opinion. It's just like I'm fine with that. You know, if he's the king, I'm fine with that.
Arya
What to be the queen of Queen of
to be the
Westeros?
Queen of Westeros.
I definitely give that like less than 10%. I don't think
I give
she's.
yeah, I give it 10 as
She,
well. I don't see her being
I
in
mean,
any.
yes, we all like her. We all like Arya, but it's not like I don't think
That's
she
not
would
it's
be.
not her character. I mean,
Not,
she even
not her
like
character.
I mean, out of the siblings, out of the sisters of the Starks, Sansa probably have a better chance because Sansa does say she want to be a
Sansa
lady.
actually, Sansa does actually want to be,
Yeah,
like
she want to be a lady, and
a
Arya just want to
lady.
be like a fighter. So,
Yeah, yeah, she definitely.
but even Sansa, I would give it like I'm actually gonna give it higher than Cersei. I'm gonna give Sansa like a 40%.
Really, I'd give her roughly the same as I guess Tyrion, like 50%. Like
Yeah,
it's
I
most
don't know.
likely she's end up going to be the Lady of Winterfell, not Lady of
That makes more sense. Yeah,
Westeros.
I feel like she's
Yeah,
gonna end up being Lady of Winterfell. But if Game of Thrones want to do shock factor, I it's not a stretch to see her being the ruler of uh, Westeros. I can see that.
I know, but a lot of people don't actually like Sansa that much, so they'll
Same.
actually people won't
Yeah,
actually like it if that was the case. If that was the
I'm
result.
with you. She's not my favorite character, but yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, this one I'm guessing you're gonna say zero. I'm probably gonna say zero, but Bran Stark.
that definitely is 0%.
No,
He's more of
he's
an advisor. He's more of an
he's a
advisor,
three eyed and Haven.
Yeah, he's a Raven. Like he knows everything.
Yep.
So,
Okay.
so definitely,
Well, we mentioned this earlier. Jon Snow.
100%. No, not
I
100, but more like
I I say 80.
I say it's like 70%. Yeah,
Okay. Daenerys.
100%.
For real?
No, 90%.
I, oh, so you have higher Daenerys. Okay. I put Daenerys. How much?
I mean, I want her to be the ruler of Westeros,
You know
but
what?
I don't think
I'm gonna give Danny and John the same percentage of 80.
I'm just like I mean, just think clearly. Like, who has the most dragons? Her. So who's gonna likely win? Her.
Well,
She has the
well,
most dragons.
John have
Your
a connection.
argument is
John,
invalid.
John is a Targaryen too, and he have a connection with the
Oh
dragon.
wait,
Maybe one of the dragon will betray her. Oh,
it's true. Like, John can actually talk to well, not talk to the dragons. Like, he can like interact with them without being burnt alive.
yeah, that's the thing. Because he have Targaryen blood, and also one thing while we're sticking with John and Danny right now, do you think there's going to be some kind? Well, probably yes, but to what extent do you think there will be some kind of feud between John and Danny? Because if both of them are Targaryen, and since John is the son of Rhaegar, which is like he's older than Danny, so technically John is
Oh no, no, but
is a more direct heir than Danny.
I know, but Danny is John's aunt, so I'm sure how it works.
Well, then again, like Joffrey Joffrey is the one who become the king and not like Tyrion.
Yeah, that's true.
Does that end up?
Yeah, yeah, because
Is that the same logic? Yeah, yeah.
it's the family line of
I think Joffrey is uh, a Baratheon. Well, yeah,
I
there
mean,
he
yeah,
is now.
people know him as
Wait,
Brad.
no. Okay, Joffrey was chosen to become direct heir because he's the son of the king,
Hmm.
and not like Stannis or like what's his name? Landry?
Oh,
Yeah,
the other, what is it called?
it's not the other two. So I feel like the an offspring will, in terms of that logic, offspring will be more direct heir. So Jon Snow might be the more
Yeah, yeah, he's the son of
Rhaegar.
Rhaegar and Lyanna, the
So
Stark.
yeah,
Yeah.
there might be a simple feud, but I don't know. That might be interesting to see if there's like.
I mean, the thing is, everyone wants both of them to rule alongside one another as a point.
Do you think do you see that happening? Like both of them becoming end up being the ruler?
kind of in my opinion, it's a kind of a far stretch. Like in the end, there's only like one
This,
arc.
that's like that. That feels like if Game of Thrones is like a Disney movie with happy ending, that will be the that will be the solution.
Yeah, that's
But
that's
not
like
Game of
the
Thrones.
truest. I don't think the happy ending is not gonna be a truest happy ending. Oh, or we can say this: what if one of them dies? Like say Daenerys dies, that means John will have to take, or John
Yeah.
dies, that means Daenerys has to be the queen.
What if both of them dies, and
Or
somehow they
both
have
of
a
them
kid, and
die.
the kid becomes the Lord,
And then Tyrion
and that's why.
becomes king.
Okay, because there is this thing like didn't like the witch in season one that the one that tricked Danny to curing Carl Drogo said something like that you'll never have a kid or something like that. I feel
Yeah,
like I might be wrong, but I feel like what if that's the case, but somehow John impregnate Danny, and because of that, when Danny will die giving birth.
it's already disturbing the fact that
What if
it's
what if what if
it's
Danny
ice.
died giving birth and then John died during battle, and the ruler of Westeros is their offspring, and that's why it's called the Song of Fire and Ice. Boom! I solved it, guys. End of podcast.
It's Song of Fire and Ice is supposed to be John because Ice is Lyanna Stark
is
and
it
Fire is
is it
Rhaegar.
is it supposed to be John, or is the Song of Fire and Ice supposed to be John and Danny, or is it supposed to be their offspring? I don't
It's supposed
know.
to
It can be all three.
Well, I don't know. Damn, I'm confused. What?
comment section and review section. If you're on iTunes,
Huh?
send a review to us telling what your thought us.
Oh, wait, huh? Wait, why is it called the Song of Fire and Ice then? So, well, because
Yeah,
okay, so the title is like the book is Song of Fire and Ice, so it's possible that yeah, Fire, Daenerys, and John Ice they might grow together,
yeah, but
or
I feel like
maybe their offspring.
the most viable solution is probably either one of those two, especially because of Kyle as well.
Yeah,
Okay, well, just not so we don't. You know what? Theon Greyjoy. Chances? I say
mm,
10.
less than ten. Because I mean, shit, just because he lost the dick, his uncle becomes king.
Also, also, uh, I just want to point out. Remember that he had a fight at the final episode of season 7 against one of the Greyjoys, and the Greyjoys just start kicking him on the crotch, and he doesn't feel pain.
Yeah,
I feel like even though you don't have a dick, if you get kicked repeatedly on a spot, you'll still feel pain, don't you? Like if you get kicked repeatedly on your ass, you will still feel pain over there. So that's just a nitpick. Like
Oh my god. At least you see
so
immune to crotch punches.
yeah. So no Theon. I don't know if Yara is still alive. Probably she is, but I don't think Yara's gonna be there. I think Yara's gonna be the ruler of the Iron Islands, right? We both
Iron
agree on
Island
that.
too. It's most likely
Okay.
like Yara will be the ruler of Iron Island.
Samuel and Gilly. No chance.
There's no chance. He just wants to be a maester. I think that's what they call it.
You think
Maester.
that's gonna be his outcome? He's gonna become a maester.
Yeah. I mean, he solved. I mean, he was able to cure. What's his name? The
Jorah.
Mormon guy,
Jorah
Jorah
Mormont.
Mormon.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, he
crazy.
was able to cure him, and then he was able to figure out how to kill the night, not like the White Walkers. I mean,
That's
he's on his way. He's on his way to become a maester, even though they kind of like reject him.
yeah. I think he's getting gonna replace Maester Aemon and he's gonna become the Maester for the Night's Watch. I feel like
Yeah, possibly. I don't
and
know how
somehow.
would he would react. I don't know how he would react when he finds out that Daenerys burned his father and brother alive.
Oh yeah, he doesn't know yet.
He doesn't know yet.
Wait. Where is he right now? I'm
He
trying to
just
remember.
left. He just left the place where all the
Oh yeah,
Maesters trained.
he's now in Winterfell because he told Bran that Rhaegar and Lyanna they had a private ceremony.
Oh yeah,
Because Bran didn't know until he told him because Gilly read the book, which now Gilly can read, guys. That's great.
yeah.
Although I'm gonna say this right now, those two are like so pure. I feel like they feel like the most pure, if that makes any sense. And if they die, it would be so sad.
Yeah, true. I mean, they've never really get involved in a direct combat or war.
Yep.
That's why.
And the remaining of this list, I don't think it's gonna be. So I'm just gonna go over it fast. But if you think some of them have a chance of like possibly even a slightest chance of being a king or being queen, ruler of Westeros, let me know and
Mhm.
stop me. Okay.
Alright.
Lord Varys,
No,
Brienne of Tarth,
no,
Podrick and his magic cock,
100% yes. He's gonna rule with an iron. He's gonna rule with an iron.
Grey
No,
Worm, Grey Worm, no Brand.
no. He's just a
Sunday,
peacemaker.
no.
No,
Davos, no. Jorah,
no,
no.
I don't know.
How about
Wait, maybe
Gendry?
wait. Maybe Jorah might become the Lord of Mormont, or they're just gonna leave the girl. I forgot what her name was.
Who?
Jorah. He might be, he might be accepted back into the Mormon.
Oh yeah,
Mormon.
the housewoman, the young girl. She's such an interesting character. I like her. I forgot her name.
People really like her. They think she's like badass because she's
She's
kind
such a badass.
she don't give two shits, man. She's 8 years old.
They haven't
She's
met
like,
each other, huh? They haven't met each other.
yeah, Jorah and her, they haven't met yet. By the way.
Yeah, Jorah, Davos. How about Gendry? Gendry, the bastard of Robert. You think you have a chance? He's still alive.
He has a he has technically he has some right, but not that much technically. But I
I
think
don't know.
he's
I don't think
but
you want
but
to.
because all the Baratheons are dead, maybe he's gonna like continue the Baratheon bloodline somehow.
Maybe, yeah. I don't think you want to be king as well. I don't.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, the remaining
Wait,
ones are.
wasn't Gendry the one that met up with what is it? What's her name? Arya, or is it a different person I was thinking of?
I mean, in the very early seasons, yeah, they befriend each other.
See, yeah, there. What happened if Gendry ends up being with Arya? He's gonna have like it's gonna be like Baratheon and Stark.
As a couple. Wow.
Wow.
I,
I'm just saying.
I mean, it's possible because
Yeah, it's alright.
he's now befriending John and he's following the like Ned and King Robert used to be like friends. They used to be like
Yeah,
side by
yeah,
side. So it's possible to see because John is and Gendry is like side by side now. It could be possible.
yeah. It's kind of like a switch, Before it's like the Baratheons are the big rulers and the Starks are like
Yeah,
following. Now it's gonna be like the Starks gonna rule and then the
Gendry
Baratheons are gonna be
is the only
following.
remaining Baratheon left right now, right? Yeah. And
Yeah.
The Tyrells are gone. And
Yeah, obviously, yeah. I mean, it's possible that Gendry has some kind of right, but I don't think he's gonna be like the king of the
I don't think so.
Falcons.
So the remaining names on this list are totally not possible. I will probably even give them negative chance. It's
Negative.
first one, Tormund of the Wildlings, no
Oh
chance.
no,
The
okay.
Hound, the Mountain, no chance.
I think
Braun,
one of them. Wait. I think the Hound and the Mountain, one of them might die, or both of them might die.
yeah, yeah.
Or
I'm gonna get to that soon.
actually, not to be honest, like yeah, I want to see them fight. But yeah, we'll get to it.
Yeah,
Braun just
I'm gonna get to that the fight soon because there's been
Braun just
rumors some stuff.
Braun just wants a castle, even.
Yeah, he never gets it. He's like Lannister spaces depth. I never get my castle.
Jamie's dead. He's like, I wish my castle.
Yeah, and Kyburn, so no chance.
Yeah, no.
Although I have two names in here that one name. Okay, you know what? They don't have any chance in being the king,
Mhm.
but since we cover, I don't think I'm missing anyone, am I? Probably in terms of being chances of being a king.
Um, did we just lost? Did we gloss over the Night King?
Well, yeah. Okay. What are the okay? Let's go to. I have Night King in here, but yeah. What are the chances you think Night King will become the ruler?
It's actually quite high. I consider it like a more of a 40%, 30-40%. Like say he won, say he has a big army, he has a dragon already.
That's
He could
true.
potentially win. Maybe it's unlikely that he will win.
It's gonna be nuts though if that happened. Wow.
I
I
mean,
cannot
you
even
don't know,
comprehend.
man. Come on, in Infinity War, Thanos won. Like, why can't he win?
Yeah,
It's like,
but Infinity War is not the conclusion of the MCU. This is the
not
conclusion of
really.
Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah, I don't think people want to end with a yeah everything's dead.
I mean, it's possible, but the Benioff and Weiss, the writers, they really need to have big balls in order to make sure the Night King win. They need to have
Mm.
guts to if that is what they want to do,
I mean,
especially
it's most
since
like
George R. Martin's not involved anymore.
yeah. I mean, it's most likely that it's most likely that the Night King and his army will probably kill a lot of the characters, but he's not gonna win.
Yeah. So yeah, that is. I don't think it's gonna win, but all right. So overall, who do you think? Well, we have said it over and over, but you're still sticking with Danny. You think gonna be the ruler eventually, or is it
Yes.
gonna be a pair up of Danny and John?
Hmm. I mean, a pair up sounds nice, but I think it's most likely Danny who's gonna win.
Danny. I'm gonna be on the opposite side. I've been rooting for Danny this whole time from season one. Maybe not since the first episode, but ever since the conclusion of season one when she was everything was burned and then she's
Mm.
naked with the three dragons and that awesome scene. Ever since that moment, and the awesome scene is because the scene is awesome, not because she's naked. But ever since that moment, I've always been rooting for Danny because I don't see anyone else possible fighting for the throne set from a Lannister. So I've always rooted for Danny, but ever because of season seven and that reveal with John, and
Yeah,
now
yeah.
that I and now he's the not only the Lord of Winterfell, but it's also he is a possible heir and he have the bloodline. I suddenly have a shift towards John now, Aegon Targaryen to being the king of
Aegon
Westeros.
Targaryen. I mean, oh yeah, that's the thing, you know. Wait, it's more of a side question, but do you think he's gonna stick to Jon Snow, or do you think he's gonna change to Aegon Targaryen? At least once he learned about his lineage, since he doesn't know it yet.
I'm gonna say he's gonna stick with Jon Snow because that is his character, and
That's his
even though
identity.
yeah, even though he will be more respected if he's not called Snow because there's a bastard name.
Yeah,
I feel like his character is just like so humble in a way which he will like just take. He's gonna embrace the Jon Snow name. You know,
yeah, yeah. Like he's a bastard, but he's a good one.
it's the best way to say
unlike
it. I mean,
unlike the other bastard who got eaten alive by his dogs.
and even the Sand Bastards from Dorne. I mean, they're okay, but they're quite. Eh.
Yes, Snow is a bastard for the northern, and for Dorne it's sand.
Yeah, I
So,
didn't know that until they reveal
so
it.
yeah,
Until they
yeah.
sort of, I thought
So
all the bastards are
it's kind
called
of funny. Albert, if you're born in like Dorne as a bastard child, you're gonna be called Albert Sand.
yeah.
It's kind
I,
of
I
dumb
guess,
though.
well, yeah, I guess different places have different callings. I wonder what I'm pretty sure there's like a wiki somewhere which says like what are the bastards name for
Yeah,
if you're like
bastard
if you're like
in
in
different
Castle Rock or
regions.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, the different regions, perhaps. Don't tell
Okay.
me in the Iron Islands the bastard is fish. Beyond fish.
Young fish.
He's for the bastard.
Okay. Wait. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Out of the characters who have died,
Mm.
who do you think would have been the best king or queen if somehow they okay, like I'm gonna say like what's his name? I'm just gonna say like Stannis or Landry or Marjorie. I'm not
Mm.
gonna say Joffrey, but like those people or Ned or even Ned even. If out of those people who have died, who do you think would would have become the best king, the best ruler?
uh, I would say Rob Stark. He's never lost a battle,
Oh,
and
is
he
that
he lost he lost because he was betrayed, not because it was a fair fight. If it was a fair fight, he would have
yeah?
won.
Okay, I agree with you when I feel like he will become the best ruler, but I would feel like he'll become a very short-lived ruler as well because of his character, and I feel like because of Westeros is such a crazy place, he will somehow get killed. I feel like because of his
Yeah,
character.
like like backstabbed in the wedding, for example,
Yeah, he'll be a good ruler for a short time.
for short time. I mean, I think he's a much better general than he is a ruler. I guess you could say.
Yeah, we can both agree that Joffrey wouldn't have been a good. I mean, he has been a king, but he wouldn't even despite
I
him
mean,
growing, he wouldn't become a better king, right?
I mean, he may be a he's kind of a he's kind of a villain, but um, the thing is, like, I saw like a small compilation of him being right. Like he was saying the truth all along. Like for example, there was one part where he's asking about Daenerys about the dragons,
Mhm.
and he's like, ought we do something about them? But Tywin is just like, ah, there's nothing to worry about. Just they're just stupid. Shut up. But but now in the end, she's in Westeros with a big ass army and two big ass dragons. So he was kind of like right all along. They should have been worried about Daenerys, but they were just like, nah, it's fine.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's possible that he might predict. He's quite good at predicting potential problems.
I can
It's
see that,
possible that
but
it's possible that he might be
he
quite good
wouldn't
at
be a
that.
good ruler though.
What good as in like morally good, or he's definitely not morally good.
No, no shit, man. No shit.
Yeah, he's definitely not morally good.
Yeah. Okay. How about Oberyn Martell, the Viper? Do you think he could have been a good ruler?
Well, the Fosteros are just if it's just Dord, then yeah, but not
Not
sure about
Westeros.
Fosteros.
Was he the ruler of Dorne?
He's kind of next in line, isn't he?
I think so. Yeah, but he wasn't the ruler, right?
He
Yeah.
was still called Prince though. He's still known as Prince.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, no, not him. Okay, this is the most recent death, and I didn't find this shocking, but I found how the way the death unfold to be very awesome. And his little finger, Lord Baelish. Do you think Peter Baelish? Do you think he could have been a good ruler? I say no, but it would
I
have been
don't
interesting.
would have been an interesting ruler, yeah, but not. I don't think he'd be a good one, though.
He's a very
I mean,
cunning head.
he's always been like. I don't think he's always acted like the advisor. He's never really acted as an actual king.
If like if there is a physical human embodiment of the Hogwarts House of Slytherin, that's
Mhm.
Lord Baelish for you. The cunningness and everything. That's very Lord Baelish.
He's like 100% not to trust.
Yep. Tywin Lannister.
Tywin. I mean, he's technically ruled as the advisor for the Mad King Ares, so
Yeah,
it's possible
I think
he knows
I
what he's
I
doing.
think Tywin is like pretty much well not pretty much the same like Cersei, but like in terms of like how if I have to rate them in terms of how good would they be as a ruler, Cersei and Tywin probably have the same rating.
Yeah, yeah. Except they don't rule exactly the same though. Like Cersei is more cruel, I guess. Like
Yeah, I
Tywin
can
is not
see
Tywin's not that cruel. He's like the most typical, Like I think he'll
that.
rule like a
Yeah,
typical
he's
king.
I feel like he's smarter than Cersei.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he definitely has more knowledge on ruling. I mean,
Hmm.
technically,
I mean, he got
a
more
lot of people.
experience.
I think some people consider that it wasn't King Ares that was ruling. It was pretty much Tywin. King Ares is just there like on his throne.
Yeah.
Because Tywin is like his advisor.
Hmm. Okay. Nope. You grab no chance. Hodor, no chance. Imagine Hodor being the king. Hodor.
Sir, what must we do with this guy, with this person?
Hold the door. So sad.
Hold on. And then they just put him, they just like, I don't know, like tie him into a door.
Okay, let's see. I'm seeing the list of dead characters. There is a lot of dead characters. So no. Uh, okay.
Caitlyn?
Okay. How about Kate? I don't think Caitlyn. She's she's too she's too nice to be a ruler.
She's not that nice. She still shuns John for being
because
so.
because because he thought, yeah, that's the only thing, because she thought Ned is like, yeah, John is not legitimate, so that's like the
Yeah,
only person, but she cares about her family. So
yeah, yeah.
Rob Stark, that could have been interesting,
Yeah.
don't you think so? I mean, he sort of have experience, he got the respect of the people.
Yeah, 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 true. Hmm.
But yeah, only if he was alive. Honestly, if he was alive up to this season, he probably have a pretty high chance somehow to become ruler.
Yeah, actually, yeah, that's true. Yeah. But such a shame he didn't.
And okay, the last name I'm gonna point out is, I feel like if they're okay, this is a pair, but if they're both still alive, they could have been, in my personal opinion, out of all the possible rulers, including Jon Snow and Daenerys and everyone, these two duo possibly could have been the best ruler of Westeros, as mainly due to the Queen, is
Mm.
Marjorie and Tommen.
Mm.
Like Tommen is okay. He could learn more because he's
Alman
still
has
very
still a
young.
lot to learn, in my
He's still
opinion.
very naive because he's still very
Yeah.
young. But Marjorie, though, she knows what to do, and she knows what's going on, especially like even before she dies, she knows what the hell Cersei is planning. So she's
Mm.
smart in that way. She knows how to get what she wants, either with her sexuality or like faking it in front of the people. Like she's smart, and especially if she still have the guidance of like Olenna, which is Olenna is such an awesome character,
Yeah, all that. Yeah.
and like with Loras by her side as well. I feel like that that could have been a great ruler.
Yeah, like yeah, I think they would have made like morally they're probably quite good people too,
Hmm.
in a way. Like they're not. I mean, they're not completely good, but not completely evil either. They're not gonna decapitate people just because of
Yeah.
petty reasons. Yeah,
So
I think yeah. I'm not sure about them being better than the current standings, but I
mhm.
mean they're not. They're definitely not like a bad. They're not a bad choice.
They're not a bad
they're not.
choice. Yeah.
They're not a bad choice at all. Yeah, it could work actually. Yeah, I agree with that.
All right. So Ariq, before we
Mhm.
wrap up, because I feel like I still have so much to talk about. Before we wrap up the first part of this Game of Thrones episode, do you have any final thoughts on saying who do you think will be the, well, to repeat, to conclude, who do you think will be ruler once again?
I'm still supporting Danny.
Danny. Okay.
Danny,
And I'm still at this point I'm still supporting John. And so that is all for the first part of this Game of Thrones second episode coming right up. So stick around. Ariq, where can they find you online?
You can find me on Instagram at Ariq Andrea, or you can find me on Steam as the Blue Smith,
The Bluesmith. In courtesy to episode 6, I believe.
courtesy of episode 6.
And you can find me, J.A. Dharma. Subscribe to this podcast channel if you're listening on Spotify or iTunes so you know when the second part is going to drop. And also subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're watching it there. So, guys, the council has spoken.